Hey everyone, it's Eric Dorr here. Growing up, I really wanted to be regarded as somebody intelligent, even gifted. I wanted people to compliment me for being so skilled, so smart, so talented. I wanted adults to tell me that I learned really fast and I was making amazing progress and I was doing really good. And of course, because of this, I put on a gifted mask. And in this video, I want to talk about the gifted mask, or people that pretend to be intelligent. And the truth is, you can pretend to be intelligent and actually be intelligent. But what's going on here is that maybe, even if you are intelligent, you're starting to act in a certain way that isn't really you, that isn't really authentic to who you are or who you want to be. And maybe you're overdoing it. Maybe you're putting on a show. Yeah. Maybe it's time to stop masking once and for all. What are some signs that you're masking that you're being intelligent? Well, first of all, you might develop interests and hobbies that you don't actually feel that interested in. You might, for example, read books that you don't want to really read. You might engage in hobbies and activities that you don't really care for. You might study harder than you need to. You might work harder than you need to. You might put more effort in than you need to. Perhaps you'll try to impress people too much, try to act different, to behave different, to sit different, to talk different, simply because you want the approval of other people. And first of all, admitting that you even care about what other people think can be difficult to do. But actually, most kids growing up want approval and look for external support. There's not one kid growing up that didn't really look to their parents and at least try to see if they are happy or sad or upset with you, right? Of course you read other people's expressions. Of course you notice other people's signals. Of course you care about what other people think. It's only with maturity and development that you're able to really tap into yourself and to think about what it is that you want and what's important to you. And by developing your own compass and moral judgment, and by learning to reflect and journal and to reflect on what you really want, that's the only way to really find hobbies and activities and a lifestyle that will make you genuinely happy. Yeah, if you're masking or putting on a show, what's going to happen is, well, first of all, of course, it can work for a while. Of course, people might think that you're amazing and maybe people will be super happy with you and they'll reward you for doing this. But it might also happen that they don't care that you do it, that they get upset because or jealous with you, or that they actually don't really care about what you do, or that they just keep raising the bar over and over again. Well, if you did that, now you have to do that tomorrow. And if you did this so fast, well, tomorrow you're going to have to be even faster, right? And this idea of constant improvement and progress and productivity can become a vicious cycle. And what you're going to find is that masking takes energy, and so you're going to find that you have less and less energy. Perhaps you find that you need to isolate yourself more. A sign that you're masking is that you often isolate yourself from other people. You go from sprints where you're super social and super active and super intense, talking really fast and showing a lot of energy. And then you go to phases where you're completely brain dead, where you feel completely exhausted, where you shut off from everyone or hide away from the world and spend time doing absolutely nothing. Because, yeah, it turns out it takes energy to pretend to be something you're not. Being yourself, however, takes zero energy. It comes naturally because it's your natural energy and things that feel good for you. And because they feel good for you, they become positive cycles which reinforce your behavior and help you learn and grow and develop. Imagine that you hit your 20s and all your life until now, you've been trying to pretend or fit in or be something other people want you to be. And you've graduated with the highest grades and you've done all the extracurriculars. You've been the teacher's pet. You've been the teacher's assistant, helping everyone else around you. You've been the young adult speaking words of wisdom from an early age, right? And you've tried so hard. And now at age 20, you feel completely exhausted, like you've nothing left to give. At this point, you fluke out, you burn out, you drop out of university, you isolate yourself, you don't care about anything anymore. And at this point, you tell yourself that everyone else around you must have been wrong about you. You weren't actually gifted. You weren't actually intelligent. You were just pretending to be. Actually, you were really stupid and nobody noticed. And now what ends up happening is, first, you feel upset with yourself for being a failure, for not living up to other people's expectations, for not being what other people want you to be. But also you feel upset with everyone else for having these expectations on you, for putting this pressure on you, when actually it turns out you were not really cut out to meet those expectations in the first place, right? Now, Often after these kinds of periods or burnouts, it can take a long time before you find your way back to yourself. You might even avoid a lot of your hobbies and passions because they remind you of the stress and expectations and the goals that you used to have around these fields. And now you find yourself doing absolutely nothing with your days until something happens. You start experimenting with new passions, you start learning new things, you start putting on new hobbies, and at first it's just something casual that you're just doing because why not, and it doesn't really feel that great doing it. Truth is, when you start out doing something, most of the time it's like, what is this? Why do I do this? How does it work? And oh well, I guess I'll just do it because I'm kind of bored anyways, and that kind of boredom, it only happens when you drop your iPad, drop your phone, and sit by it yourself for a while, right? And you start like thinking. But slowly, like as you start doing this more and more, you start noticing that it turns out to be quite fun. What turned out to be just basic doodles or sketches start becoming more and more elegant images and artwork, and suddenly you start finding that you've gotten a new passion that is completely your own. You haven't even told anyone else about it. Nobody knows that you can do this or that you're doing this. And you, even though nobody knows about this, feel absolutely happy doing this. You feel completely in flow, completely in zen while you do it. And you've learned, at this point, you've learned something. You've learned to tap into your own intrinsic motivation and energy. You've learned that you have inside of you your own passions, your own goals, your own desires, your own interests, your own hobbies that have nothing to do with your family or your parents or your school or your co-workers or employers. And now you have to ask yourself, what can I do to create a life that is my own instead of something that is somebody else's? And what happens if I learn to live life my own way, to walk my own path, to do things the way that feels good for me? Well, first you find that you have a different pace than what you thought you had. You might find yourself sometimes comparing yourself to your old days, thinking that you're going slower. You might think that, in the past I was so hardworking, so diligent, so dutiful, so productive, and I did so much so quickly, and now I'm doing things in a normal pace. I'm doing things, okay, it feels good doing it. It feels normal. It's not stressful. It's not exhausting, but it's not as fast as it used to be, right? And you have to, at this point, kind of let go of those old ideas, because that productivity that you used to have, it wasn't a real productivity. It wasn't sustainable. It wasn't what you were supposed to do, and it was not in the pace that you were supposed to be doing it. Now you have to learn to listen to the beat of your own drum. And you have to learn that you have your own rhythm and how you do things. Your own time when you want to wake up in the morning. Your own time when you want to go to bed. Your own way that you want to do things. And it's not something you can read about online. Not something you can follow as a recipe that somebody else told you. It's something that you genuinely feel is natural and comfortable for you, right? And what all of this is leading up to is you're learning to tap into what we call the flow state. The flow state is this own inner sense of zen, where every fiber of your being, every single cell in your brain is working in tandem with the others towards something that feels and fits completely with who you are and what you enjoy. And in this zone, in this state of mind, everything seems to just happen naturally from its own sake, and it's not tiring, and you can do it for the moment that you wake up to the moment you go to bed, and it will feel absolutely comfortable to do so, and it will feel like a passion, and it will feel like something that is what you were born to do. It will feel like your purpose, what was really you. Yeah, I think a lot of kids that are diagnosed as gifted or as intelligent, and even those that are just called smart in school, put on unnecessary pressures on what to do and how to be and how to think. And while these things in the short term might make you work harder or study more or pretend or do more that you wouldn't have done, at the same time, it will manipulate you into doing the wrong things that won't feel good to you, and things that might impair your growth and development in the longer term perspective. And yeah, like I said, you can still be intelligent and gifted, but don't let who you are or what other people think about you become your destiny or a burden or a prison for you. Make sure that you always do what feels genuinely right for you.